Hello everyone! I'm going to show you where all the lantern bits are in the game below, and I'm going to do it really quickly, so let me know if I missed anything and let me know if you have any questions. Let's go! The first lantern piece you come across should be on the second floor outside on the beach. It'll be against the cliff face to the far right, and it'll be next to the shipwreck. It shouldn't be very hard to find. It's the only lantern piece in that area. There's nothing else except for, I believe, a marble and a couple of chests to the north in the water. But other than that, you're good to go. The next lantern piece is on the third floor in the third floor store. You have to pay 200 bits to get in there, but once you do that, it'll be on your left. Simple as that. The lantern bit that makes the center of the lantern is impossible to miss, but I figured I'd include it just to be thorough. It's where you open the pocket for the first time. This lantern bit can be easy to miss. You can find it on the third floor in the open swampy type room, which has two northern exits, one leading to a shortcut and one leading to the fourth floor. Just look to the southeastern end of the room and you'll have no problem finding it. This lantern bit is out in the open on floor 3, 2 rooms to the west if you're coming from the second floor. The room might not look exactly as you see it here, but it's hard not to bump into it because it's just right there. The first light, or at least that's what achievement you'll get when you successfully recover this lantern bit. It's another one that's hard to miss unless you initially took the path that skips the fourth floor. Just follow the icy caverns until you come upon your first teleporter shortcut. It's right after that. Make sure you bring a dozen lantern bits or so with you, so you can maneuver past the futuristic barriers. Once you Indiana Jones your way back out, you'll grab the secondary inner lantern bit. Easy. This is a lantern bit I had to come back to search for, but there's nothing really hidden about it. It's on the icy fourth floor in plain sight as long as you're carrying the lantern. The floor is shaped sort of like an upside down heart, and the lantern bit can be found in the room in the southeast of the map on the right hump of the heart, if that makes sense. Some people have found it in the center of the room, while mine was closer to the entrance to the room. Just use your magic lantern, look around, should be no problem. I don't know why this one was tough for me, but it was actually the last one I had to find. I think it's because you'd expect this bit to be on an earlier floor than the next bit. Anyway, this one can be found on the 7th floor, in a room that can only be entered via bomb or explosive arrow. The map for this floor isn't huge, and it only has one room with an extra room on it. It should be the one to the east. You'll eventually come across the second shop. It's right next to another shortcut to the surface. Directly south of the shop is the next lantern piece, sitting in the middle of what looks like an old arena. The area practically screams, "There's a lantern bit here," so you probably had no problem finding this one. This lantern bit is set up much like the last one. It happens to be on the 7th floor, and is to the south of something that looks important. In this case, you probably just killed a bunch of frenzied worshippers near a tarp with what looks like its own lantern bit. It's not. Just climb down the ladder to the south, walk over a bunch of bones, and you'll see the next lantern bit at the dead end. This lantern bit is on floor 9. It's in the room below the northeasternmost room, in the southwestern part of that room. So, roughly the upper right of the map, but the lower left part of the actual room. It might be surrounded by enemies, but you've seen enough of them by now to know what to do with them. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Once you reach the dark tentacles, which start on floor 15, you'll eventually reach an icy bridge with the lantern bit sitting in plain sight. You might even keep running into its pedestal well after you've already collected the bit. Pretty annoying. There are 3 entire lantern bits all on floor 16. We'll start with the first one, which is northwest near the first room of the floor. It's a couple rooms away. All 3 lantern bits are just strewn across the path, and none of them are in rooms that have safe havens. Just be careful of the tentacles. These are a pain in the ass to grab if you keep dying and losing your map progress. The second lantern bit on the 16th floor is much like the first, except it's in the southwestern part of the map. It's in the room that's 2 rooms below the safe haven room. It's also just kind of randomly on the path. You'll find it. The last lantern bit on floor 16 is the easiest to describe. It's simply in the last room of the floor, right before you get to the checkpoint fire. Again, it's simply on the path somewhere in the room. This lantern bit is hard to miss, provided you're blowing up all destructible doors you see. It's in what I like to call a safe haven, a room on the dark tentacle floors but away from all the enemies. Some contain new weapons, this one happens to contain a campfire. You can find this one on floor 15 in the last discoverable room of the floor. Just remember to bring a bomb or explosive arrow to get inside. Floor 17. Another safe haven room that is found east of the floor's entrance. This time, instead of a campfire to go with your lantern bit, spoiler alert, you get a new sword upgrade. Or at least I did. Bring a bomb to get into this room as well. The last non-event lantern bit in the game is found on floor 18. This floor map is shaped like a trident, and this bit can be found in the leftmost tip of that trident. It's another one that's just sitting on the floor in the middle of the path. Should be pretty easy. The last light. At least that's what the game calls it, even though it's not really our last bit. Either way, it's obtained the same way as the first light on the 4th floor. To get it, you have to step on the teleporter near the bottom of the sand floor. You'll see it. It's hard to miss. Start the event by shining your lantern on the huge obelisk once you get down there and take a bunch of more elevators down, shine your lantern again, and escape the same way as the first time. The actual last bit is also one that will make you question where to find it. Luckily, all you have to do is move south on the sand floor until you can't anymore. You'll swim and swim until a blinding light will kill you, I guess? You'll reappear where you always do when you die, but a meteor-looking object will appear on the shore. Shine your light to collect, and it'll tell you what to do next. Alright, that should about do it. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Let me know how I did, if I was too boring, or if I wasn't clear. The longer this goes on, the less likely I'll be to be able to remember, but there are other guides that should be able to help you if enough time has gone. So thank you everyone for watching, and please support me by subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.